आज हमारे स्टूडियो में आ रहे हैं स्केप स्टूडियोज की क्रिएटिव टीम, जो आपके हसीन पलों को एक फिल्मी लुक में बदल देते हैं। आए मिलते हैं जय वहाब और उमर से।
So नाज़रीन, प्लीज वेलकम कीजिए हमारे स्टूडियो में भाई पर्दे पे जादूगरी बिखेरने वाले भाई Escape Studios के creative head and lead cinematographer. I'm talking about Jay and Umar. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you for having us, man.
No problem.
So I don't know about you, Wasim. I love weddings. अच्छे कपड़े पहनने को मिलते हैं. There's great food and there's lots of life. Which brings me to my first question: why weddings? Why did you guys choose to make that your career?
लीना ने बता दी कि उसे weddings क्यों पसंद है, आप लोगों को weddings.
That's a trick question. I mean, we started off. Well, by trade, I'm a TV producer.
Okay.
And at the time, there was a lot of community involvement with everybody who was doing weddings at the time. But it wasn't so much, the cinematic storyboard-driven concept films that we're producing right now. So when I tapped into it, I said, you know what, maybe this could be our chance to tell our stories, tell our vision to the audience the way that I see stories. And what better story to tell than weddings? You know, you got true love, true chemistry, you have real moments, action, and might as well tell it the way we want to, right?
Right. So coming to sort of storyboard-driven sort of wedding videos.
Right.
When it comes to sort of planning out an entire concept or a storyboard for a wedding video, how much of the couple's contribution actually goes into it?
A lot.
Couple's contribution is very much needed in the process, because once you have that cooperation between them, right, we look for that spark, basically, right, that differentiates other couples from them. So we get to know them quite extensively. There's months and months of preparation, right? So we get to know what they like, what they don't like, how their parents are, how their families are, right? So you find that we go for that candid approach all the time, right? So once that connection is made and once that planning has been done, work is a lot more easier.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the process, let's just talk about the idea. Who came up with it? Because I know you guys are quite a few team members. And where were you when the idea, whoever did come up with it, where were you when the idea came to you?
For a wedding specifically?
For Escape Studios.
For Escape Studios,
yes.
That was way back. That was in 2004. I just finished up York University. And like I said, we went into TV production, right? So I started working with a small production house based out of Brampton, where we were starting up TV shows and commercials, music videos. And then I myself got into live event directing, so I did all the big shows from 2003 to 2006. Nice. One of us you might remember was Temptation 2004, with Shah Rukh Khan, Hrithik Roshan.
Yes.
So we directed that live, and so that was my forte. And then, like I said, in late 2008, that's when the wedding chapter kind of kicked off.
So what I'm getting is, you said that you directed live event shows, and that's so basically when you say that that's your forte, that's quite a sort of departure from actually sort of doing wedding videos where you have no control, and you can't direct the live event at all. So how do you consolidate those two?
That's the fun of it, live action, right?
Yeah, but when you say it as in he records live events, maybe you can think of a wedding as something that's not even that different from a live event, because a wedding happens and everything there is live and unscripted. It may be planned, but obviously we know our Pakistani and Indian community, and we all know that everything runs on Desi Standard Time, right? So being based on that, and all jokes aside, everything else is live and everything else is in the moment. And that's what we try to capture the most, right? So we try to go for unscripted events to our live events to capture the most candid moment of the couples, right? And which is why our videos turn out the way they do, actually.
Okay, so you're talking about how candid the whole thing is. So with that comes a little bit of pressure. You guys are dealing with people's big day, the most important day of people's lives.
Right.
Do you guys ever feel like there's a lot of pressure when it comes to that? You could,
of course.
you know, mess up someone's big day?
Especially with, I mean, the one main production or feature towards the wedding chapter is that we offer same-day edits. Right. And that's when, let's say, traditionally for Pakistani weddings or Indian weddings, are 2 or 3 day events. So we're editing as we're shooting to showcase at the reception. So that's pressure right there. I mean, you have to make sure you have a 3 to 5 minute piece ready to show at the reception just 20 minutes after the last entrance was made, right? So something like that is obviously most pressure. There's technical problems, there's audio problems, video problems. We have to make sure that everything is on point before we even showcase that kind of piece, right?
Okay, so in terms of the same day edits, I actually sort of I've been through your blog, and I mean, I was just telling you about like how huge a fan I actually am. In terms of the edits, are those edits what go into the final sort of compilation altogether, or are they just to be shown at the event and then
is it a little bit like of a trailer of what's coming up?
Oh yeah, that's just what a same day edit is a compilation of the entire event summed up to in a 3 to 5 minute video, based on the song choice, based on how long the event is.
And then afterwards we get into the nitty-gritty editing, which is months after the wedding, where we actually edit the entire wedding film or feature, as you will.
Okay, and that's like from scratch again, right? You're just dealing with all the footage. You're not exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty much it.
So when you guys are sitting back and watching the whole thing after it's been done, are you guys critical of what you've put so much work into?
I'm always critical of him. He's always critical of me.
Right?
Oh yeah.
You guys are never critical of yourself.
Of yourselves.
Behind these pretty faces and these stylish clothes, actually a lot of arguments go down as to actually what gets put in, because I think something is good, he thinks something is better, and then we always have to meet in the middle, right? And what matters most at the end of the day is what the couple wants.
I think that's what helps because we're always trying to push each other to get better and better, right? We're not just settling. Yeah, we have a lot of fans who say, your work is amazing, you're the best, you're blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, we're in the background saying, we could be doing so much more, right? We know exactly where we want to take this. So I think that's key for...
Oh yeah, and that's our drive and consistent motivation to be coming out with greater and better videos every single time,
and
right?
You guys are doing it.
And well, I hope so. I mean, that's the whole idea, because as soon as you start putting out something, in our opinion, what we came up with is if you putting out something that's redundant and constantly the same, you lose passion for it, right? And then the viewer loses interest in it. Yeah. So we push ourselves constantly, every shoot, to come out with something that's unique, never been done before, never seen before. So at the end of the day, the couple's happy, and then the audience likes what they see.
Yeah. True.
How many videos have you guys? I know you guys have done lots and lots. Do you guys know off the top of your head?
In 1 year or in total?
Just from when you've began.
Well, I mean, it depends, because this year was our first year officially doing weddings, and we did more than we expected. We were in the 20+ range.
Oh wow.
Versus next year, we're sticking very exclusive to couples. We're picking our couples. Now, there's a certain criteria couples have to meet. I mean, we have in total 200 inquiries for next year. So what we're trying to do is narrow them down into like a 15 exclusive couple-based, studio where we can just focus on each couple.
And what are you looking for? How do you make the cut?
That's what we usually ask you guys as a couple. So if you two were to walk in right
audition,
now.
But when you guys are picking the couples, what criteria are you guys using?
It's a lot to do with their backgrounds, their story, how they met, their families, everything from like even right down to the way they look, right? Because we want to make sure our couples have a certain look that we want to show in our videos, right? I mean, we have a lot of couples who dish out, 5-figure cash values to us, but we're not just going to take them because of the cash value. We want to take them because they have a certain background story that we want to tell. We want to show the audience of how we think their story of how they met us or how they...
That's amazing.
So when the challenge is actually to do something different every time, and every couple, I'm imagining a lot of couples want the stereotypical, I want a Bollywood movie kind of thing, or I want kind of like a beach wedding, but it's a very specific kind of chick flick kind of format. How do you convince the couple to actually go with your vision, which is fresh, over something that's trite that they might be suggesting? Because I know you guys did like the Dolce & Gabbana sort of themed engagement video as well. Right. And I mean, not every couple is down for something like that.
No, so it all depends on the couple, first of all, right? How willing they are. And then it's a matter of trust, right? I mean, they come to us and they like us for a reason, right? You can go to any other place and you can say, hey, I want this, some guy will do it for you. But in my opinion, people come to us for our uniqueness in general, right? And they like what they see and they want to step out of the box for a lot of the videos. And I think maybe Jay can go along with that and agree that we cater to a lot of stuff like that.
I think basically we do cater to a specific target audience. I mean, we don't just get the typical mommy daddy wedding video clients who call us and say, I just want you to shoot my wedding and that's it, it's over, right? We get couples that say, we want something more and we think you guys are the right fit for it. Right. And so it just depends on that as well.
Do you guys get close to some of the couples as you're working with them?
All our couples are our best friends.
We're very good friends with a lot of our couples, and
keep in touch with them afterwards.
Oh yeah, definitely. That brings us to things like social networking and media devices like Twitter and Facebook, and how that has kind of helped us out, and we become Facebook friends and we keep in touch and we have these jokes that go along,
And the best thing to do is we have couples that just look at our blog and say, I want a picture too, because we have all these little funny pictures that we do with our couples, and they come up to us and say, you guys better take a picture with us, right? They pull us up the wedding and say,
wow.
Sometimes we actually forget. We're like, oh yeah, I think we have to take this picture. Come.
So I mean, to your question is that you have to build a foundation of friendship and trust, so they get that open with us. I mean, majority of the shots that you see in our videos are very candid, very natural. Like, and people always ask, how do you get those shots if there's a camera in somebody's face? The natural reaction is what? For somebody to kind of turn away. So it's kind of in our little magic as well of how we interact with our couples and their families to get them that comfortable.
Tell me something, guys. Is there a financial requisite in order to get that kind of fantasy element into your movies?
Of course. There is.
He's saying no. He's like, of course.
It's in one way it's a business, but in another way it's a passion. Right? I mean,
but if say for example, I'm someone who's not exactly from a very high income level, and I really want that kind of cinematic quality to my wedding video, is this something that everyone like Joe the plumber can afford?
There's a saying that says that goes, "You get what you paid for." Right, and I think.
The answer to the question
so how much do you?
Yes. I can't.
No.
I'm not going to ask you pricing.
Yeah.
That's not exactly the classiest question. But it is. There is a considerable price tag attached.
Yeah, I mean, if you can afford our services, I mean, you'll be very happy with the end product.
Pretty sure they are. Like I'm really happy just looking at them. I don't even know these couples. But
let's get you married, man. Let's go. Let's start this up.
Down. I am down. Honestly, watching
now
your
Wasim
videos,
just needs someone to actually marry him.
I just need to convince a woman to say, you know what, we're going to spend a few years together, and it's going to be a great wedding.
You know what? Let's talk to church together, man.
Let's do this. We need. Yeah, you guys need to start like matchmaking services. At the same time.
Man.
Okay, one question before we actually just quickly go into break. What about weddings excites you the most?
Just the natural, charismatic vision of it all, right? I mean, because I do come from a TV production background, a live event mixing background. I want to show people exactly how far weddings can go, right? And especially in our community, it's not that popular. There's people out there, like in Australia and US, who are doing phenomenal work with weddings and taking it to the next level. Alhamdulillah, we're taking it somewhat to the next level here in Toronto, but inshallah, with the hard work that we'll put in more, we want to eventually get to the level where people will look at our wedding videos are not just wedding videos, but wedding film movie features, right? Sure. That's the main goal we want to get to.
That's amazing. All right, guys, it's been super fun chatting with you, and we're going to keep talking to you guys. Lekin, we have to take a short break. Break se aane ke baad, what are we doing, Wasim?
Well, we're going to be talking about Escape Studios' most ambitious project till date. Documentary ka naam hai Laugh, Love, Live. सब करा रहे देखो हंसा भी रहे प्यार भी करवा रहे जिंदगी भी मतलब जी लो सब करो all of that in one documentary. We're going to talk about what that process was like. but आप कहीं ना जाइएगा क्योंकि हम अभी गए और
अभी आए